Whether you're a designer, photographer, or want to showcase a group of images or designs, you can create a gallery page or a gallery within a page to showcase those images. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that and how to customize it. So I put together a sample gallery page here. We're going to go in and edit the page content, and we're going to add a content block. So whenever you want to add in any kind of blocks, you want to click the little water droplet right here. You can always click this plus sign up here as well. So we're going to go to the section where it says gallery, and you have multiple options for galleries. So slideshow, carousel, grid, or you can stack the images. Now my favorite showcase for images is grid. You can always change this in settings. I'll show you how you do that, but I'm going to go ahead and click grid. And it's going to put some placeholder images here just so it shows you what a grid is. And then the first thing you want to do is you want to upload your media. So you want to upload the images that you're going to put into the gallery. You can always add more images later. You can always delete images as well. I'll show you how that works. So I'm clicking the upload images here. I'm going to go to my sample images, open up all of these, and you're going to watch them load in as I talk. Now, the next thing we're going to do as these load, and you can do it while they load, is go into the design portion of this. So here's where, like I said before, you can change whether you want it as a grid, you want the images stacked, carousel where you can slide through the images like a carousel, or slideshow where it plays like a slideshow. So you can see some of the images are loading in now as I'm talking. You have different options here. So you have your aspect ratio, that's how it crops the image. So I can do widescreen, 4:3, 3:2. I always stick to 1:1. I like the look of a square image, so I'm going to leave that as it is. You can show the title of the image if you have titles on them. For this example, I'm just going to show you what the title will look like, so that way if you want to title the images, you can see how that'll look. You can choose the number of images or thumbnails per row. So if I want 4 or if I want 5, you'll see the images are going to get smaller to make room for more. For this, let's say 3. And then you can choose the padding around the images. I usually do 15, but you can make it more or less. This lightbox option right here is if you click the image, it'll expand and go larger. I always click that. And then this theme is what kind of background do you want to show when you pop into that lightbox. And I always do dark overlay. I'll show you how that looks when more of the images have loaded in. Alternatively, you can open a link into a new window. So you can have the image open up in a new window. Like I said, I usually just do the lightbox feature. So now you can see some of the images have already loaded in. These are quite large images. A smaller size image will take a lot less time to load. And then a larger image will obviously take a little longer to load. But while the rest of these load, I'll show you how you can add, you can kind of manipulate some of these images, add some, like a title to them, whatever you like. You see this dot right here. If you hover over an image, you can see a dot. When you click that dot, you can actually show different portions of the image. Sometimes, I think this image it's a focal point right here. So I think this image is square as it is, so it's not going to show, but let's say you have an image that's widescreen or like a horizontal layout, and then you're cropping it to a square format, it'll actually show different parts of the image wherever you decide to move the focal point. So if you click this cog right here when you're hovered over an image, this is where you can add the title. So I'll just put example title here. You can add a caption, example caption here. So let's say you're featuring a wedding or a piece you did for a client, like you designed for a client. You can put whatever the title is here. You can explain what the image is about. You can always add a URL. So if you wanted to click off to, let's say, the client's site, you can add that. So we hit save, and you see the title is right underneath the image like we chose in settings. And then if you click this little like pencil icon right here, You can manipulate the image, such as cropping it, resizing it, adding text. I typically never do this within Squarespace. I do it in Photoshop or Canva, which I have a tutorial on. But you can hear the train in the background. But yeah, I don't normally add things in here, but you do have the option to do that. And then finally, you can always delete an image. So let's say, shoot, I didn't want this image of the notebooks with the watch. I can just click the trash can button. It'll ask you if you want to make sure you want to remove this image. You can click confirm, and then it'll go ahead and delete that image. Again, if you wanted to add an image in, shoot, I actually wanted that watch image, you can always add an image back in later. So now that our images are done loading, I just want to show one last feature. You can always click and drag to rearrange the images itself. So it'll rearrange them in real time, and then you can see how it looks. So I'm going to hit apply, and now you can see, and save here, you can see what the gallery would look like. Because of the features, I can click on this image, and it has that dark overlay. Where it shows up in the Lightbox, has that dark overlay. You can click through the images here. And it's just a great way to showcase images for photographers, client work that you've done for a specific client, or anything that has a large amount of images that you'd like to show on your Squarespace site.